Down and
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
with the view of the sun setting at the great Boyle Stadium in Stamford, Connecticut, it is high school football on the HAN Network, and a good evening to you, everyone. I'm Rob Adams, Chris Irway alongside of me for the call tonight, Chris Kalin on the sideline. As tonight, the Stamford Black Knights, the hometown varsity team, take on the Cadets from St. Joseph High School. For the Cadets on the year, they are 4-1, and the Black Knights come in with a record 500 at 3-up and 3 down. As we greet you from historic Michael A. Boyle Stadium, Chris, good evening to you. And look, the Cadets are always in the thick of it. 4-1 on the year, having another good year. Expect to make a run in Class M. Here they are, ready to go, coming onto the field right now, and they're certainly in pretty good shape as we start tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Rob. And St. Joe's is just one of those teams that I feel every year flies under the radar. They could have 5 or 6 superstars on their team, but because they're in either Class S or Class M, they always just fly under the radar because everyone is so focused on Class L and double L's, as we see Stamford getting ready to come onto the field now. But tonight is a special night. It's the night before Halloween. Always craziness happens on games when we broadcast on these types of Friday nights. There's just times that I can remember just trick plays, huge comebacks, blowout victories. I really expect a close game tonight. Even though Stamford is 3-3, they've fought hard in every single game that they have. And St. Joe's hasn't really had a true test yet. I think this is really going to be a true test for them, especially going up against a very athletic team of Stamford. The one thing that Stamford has is a bevy of athletes. What they need to do is they need to rely on fundamentals.
A quick word from the sideline. We have a sideline reporter tonight for the first time this year. Here is Chris Kalin. Cato.
Hey, guys, the one thing I would say, too, to go with Chris talking about Stamford High is I talked to Joe Delavecchia, the coach for St. Joe's, before the game, and the one thing he had said, his team has been banged up all year, and the change in weather and things getting colder hasn't helped anything. But he is very happy with the way his team's played, all things considered. And he's looking for a big night out of his guys tonight. This is really, like Chris said, a true test for them. But the one thing, looking at both teams before the game, Stamford High is clearly the bigger team size-wise. It's a team that brings a lot of force, and a lot of things have been said about them and their dark side defense. It's a big punishing style of defensive play that they bring to the table. And it's one thing if St. Joe's, with their injuries and a lot of their bang-up problems, whether or not they can survive tonight. Guys, back to you.
All right, Cato, thank you very much. We'll look forward to talking to him throughout the night as the teams get ready to come out for the opening coin toss, so we'll hang on here for an extra minute. Looking forward to getting a glance at junior quarterback Corey Babineau warming up right down below us for St. Joe's. We saw him last year against Brian McMahon and even interviewed him after the game, Chris, and I was very impressed with this young man.
Yeah, well-spoken individual and does not fold under pressure is one thing that I've seen. Last year, McMahon blitzed him a lot in the game that we broadcast, and he was able to stay in the pocket and then scramble out, use his feet as a weapon, and make very accurate throws. So I'm excited to see what he does against a very vaunted Stamford defense tonight.
Captains come out to midfield. Jack Ganser for the Cadets, along with Cameron Ryan, Kevin Trez, Christian Trez, Mike Jones, Jake Smith are the captains that are listed on the roster. Specifically, we are looking at Ganser as well as Christian Trez, Mike Jones, and Cameron Ryan.
For Stamford, the big question tonight was, would Tyrell Diaz play? He's the bruising running back, the junior, 6'1", 235 pounds on the roster. I'd say he's probably closer to 245, 250 pounds. His legs are as big as my waist. So that tells you something about this individual. He's really a bowling ball type running back. Coming back from a concussion, we'll see if he plays tonight.
Among the captains that went out for Stamford, Taekwon Bonaparte, Mark Saricchio, Ryan Holbrook, as well as Chris Desir. So we get ready for Stamford and St. Joe's from Boyle Stadium. If we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. It's historic, it is great, and it is the cradle of FCIAC football. Chris, and I come back for the opening kickoff. It's coming up right after this. Stamford and St. Joe's settle in for a little ghoulish Friday night football. It's coming up right after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back in Stamford, tonight's officials, before we get ready. The referee is Greg Sperling. The umpire is Tom Sportini. The head linesman is Chris Pinozzo. The linesman is Kevin Mariconda, and the back judge is Mike Brown. And again, we say it all the time, veteran officiating crew. The Black Knights won the toss and deferred to the second half. And a great crew on hand here tonight, along with Chris and I. Eric Gendron, Direct AJ Simonowski, Marty Hersom, Kate Chaplinsky, Josh Fisher, both still here, Bill Bloxham, Charlie Weaver, all on cameras. The Cadets come out in their this not quite the most Southern Cal-esque of their looks. The white top, white bottom, but they've got those classic burgundy or maroon, if you will, with the gold, the S and the J, the uniform number, the traditional block style, which I just always prefer, outlined in gold, not that I matter, and a white helmet with the Cadet on it. On the other side, another classic look, the all black with some white and some hints of orange, the Black Knights of Stamford High School. Small crowd, pink out across the way. And away we go with two deep for the St. Joe's Cadets. Spinning kick coming down at the 14-yard line. Starting with a head of steam, moving right, finding an opening, getting grabbed by the shoulder and thrown down near the 39-yard line. Running it up the field in good field position. That was Nick Osborne on the return.
And you can see, in the last days of October as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month, with the black on black of Stanford, also hints of pink in their uniforms, whether it's an Under Armour shirt under their jerseys or even a towel, or even we see some pink socks tonight.
Let us hope for a day where we can just have pink because it's a nice color and we don't need a month for it. Let us hope for sure. Breast cancer, we want to be aware, but boy, we want to get the research and get rid of it. First down for Corey Babineau and the St. Joe's Cadets. Quick pass out into the flat, swung left side, and a good open field tackle at the 39, struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Wesley Mighty came up and shut it down.
That was number 20, Christian Treves, on the reception, the running back. He's a senior. 6 foot, 164 pounds, and Wesley Mighty is a guy that we talked about in our last Stamford broadcast. He is a linebacker that is all over the field. You'll see him lined up in many different positions tonight.
2nd and 10, following no gain, shotgun snap, fake the jet sweep, pass complete left side, and it's right there at the 45-yard line. The defender saying no way he got it, but you know what? Shut him down anyway, Mike Sidora on the catch. And a quick gain of 5. Setting up 3rd and let's call it 4. So we got about 6 on the gain. At the St. Joe's 45, near hash, from right to left they go. Shotgun snap, looking right, and now it's a quarterback draw, and stretching for the chains, and a first down is the quarterback, Corey Babineau.
Babineau was stopped there right about 1 yard before the line of scrimmage. A little second effort, stretched over the down marker, and is able to pick up a first down.
So they'll put it at the 49-yard line, closer to the 48, let's call it. No, now they'll put it at the 49. Want to make sure I spend just a moment on the public address announcer when time allows, because he's one of my favorites. Setting up a shotgun snap at the 49, sweep coming, and there it goes around the right side. Here's Christian Trez to the outside, and he'll get 9.5, close to 10, taken down by Benjamin Joseph, the defensive end, the junior. They gave him 8. 2nd and 1 into Black Knight territory at the 42-yard line. No score, 9:44 in the opening stanza on a Friday night, the last Friday in October. A shotgun snap coming. Here it is. Play fake. Shoulder fake. Babineau's going to have to run with it. Runs out of the right side, and he'll run it out of bounds with a first down at the 38-yard line. He was trying to go deep, looking like he was trying to connect with Kevin Trez, but I like the play call for sure. A little shoulder fake, Chris, and they were going to go deep. Maybe they were going to go actually to Sidora down the left sideline, but either way, I like the play call on 2nd and short.
And I like it because Babineau can do it with his legs as well, and that's one of the things we talked about when we saw him last year. He does not get flustered in the pocket there. A nice pump fake. Look for Trez. The cornerbacks were not deceived there. Decides to take a look at his first and second options and then take off and run.
Rushing 4 are the Black Knights. Play action, throwing right side. That is complete, and stretching for the chains on that far sideline. We'll double check on the receiver. And it looked like it was, from the glance I saw, 83. Looked like Colton Lillimo, and it was. So Lillimo with the reception, the 6'1", 200-pound senior. Now a first down for the Cadets as they move the ball quite nicely inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. A man goes in motion. That's Trez. Shoulder fake. And now the quarterback draw for Babineau. Breaks to the right side. 10-5 touchdown St. Joseph. From 27 yards, 6-0 St. Joe's.
Ryan Holbrook, one of the captains and one of these great linebackers for Stamford, complaining to the ref that he got held. Unfortunately, a huge hole for Corey Babineau and a great play fake, taking off on that quarterback draw. And here's the problem that we've seen with Stamford. They have a ton of athletes, but it's tough for them to play disciplined football. You know, there's a lot of individuals on this team that want to make a lot of individual contributions. It's hard to win when you can't play as a team, especially on defense.
Point after coming from Jared Malozzi. Snap is good. Spot kick blasted well down toward I-95, and it is good. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's St. Joseph's 7, Stamford coming to bat. Right after this, high school football, you're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. His color cam, I've never seen it run better. No. Very impressive start for the Cadets, the Hogs, as they're affectionately known from St. Joseph High School out of Trumbull. They lead 7-0.
Yeah, really fast start for St. Joseph, which is something they need to do, especially on the road in a hostile environment, someplace as historic as Boyle Stadium. We'll see what Stamford can do on offense. Like I said, a variety of playmakers from Taekwon Bonaparte to George Nicolopoulos. Ryan Holbrook we'll see. We'll see Tyrell Diaz. If he plays tonight, with the big thing with him was his concussion. We'll see if he comes out and gets the immense workload that he has gotten in weeks past. But he really is the cog in the wheel for this Stanford offense to run properly.
Nick DiCareno will kick off. Makes the approach and the boot. Coming down and bobbled initially, now taken by Taekwon Bonaparte. Breaks left, stays left, had an opening with a flag down at the 16-yard line.
And from the looks of it, most likely going to be a hold or a block in the back.
Connor Murphy of St. Joe's made the stop. Some people do kind of quarrel with the use of the term St. Joe's, so I try to go primarily St. Joseph and St. Joe's affectionately.
Sure. That's like some people quarrel with the Cadets and the Hogs and all that sort of stuff. I just wish they went by Hogs.
Do you?
I do. I'm a Hog guy.
Penalty indeed is against the Black Knights, so our first penalty of the evening.
Now, right there's a perfect example as the holding penalty is going to be declined.
As we get a look at the pink out across the way.
And they had a block in the back as well, so they'll decline the hold, accept the block in the back. And this is something that you have to look at. Taekwon Bonaparte made 6 defenders miss on that kickoff, and yet, unfortunately, a penalty stopped them from having a decent return.
We wondered if Tyrell Diaz will be in the lineup, and the big man is there. On first down, he's going to take it, and he's going to get stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Tyrell Diaz missed last week's game with a concussion, or at least a portion of it. You have to do the right thing. He is back this week and ready to go, but he lost 2.
And you have to go through the concussion protocol that, everyone has to, at any level of football. So it's good to see him back. But, just look at the size of him. He looks like a defensive tackle out there running the football.
Junior linebacker Brian Harner made the stop. Second down, they'll go back to the ground, just trying to get away from the shadow of their own end zone, and they'll pummel forward near the original line of scrimmage, maybe up near the 9. Diaz once again.
And if you're St. Joe's, you have a pretty simple defensive plan. Stack the box with 8 or 9 guys and make Troy Duncan, the quarterback for St. Joe's, beat you down the field.
Receivers to each side, standing in shotgun, waiting is Troy Duncan, the junior quarterback. His protector right alongside of him is Diaz, who will block. Back to throw, looking, he tucks it, starts to run, he'll get back near the line of scrimmage at best. Grabbed from behind by Jude Andrzejewski, the sophomore linebacker.
And right there, a perfect job of spying the quarterback. One of the things that Troy Duncan does really well is making a couple reads and then making plays with his feet, just as Corey Babineau does on the other side for St. Joseph's. Right there, they spied him with a linebacker, and then the defensive end was able to come up and make a nice play. And now Stanford's going to have to punt from deep in their own end zone.
Cameron Ryan is the up man for Connor Murphy, who stands about 8 yards deep. High snap, got to get rid of it, and he does. Dangerous, bounces, takes a fortuitous roll out near the 39, but all things said, that's only about a 30-yard punt.
And St. Joe's, unfortunately, had the wrong call on there. They actually tried to set up a punt return instead of a punt block, and the snap was really high. It took very long to develop. If they had brought a punt block, they had a good chance of blocking that kick and recovering it for a touchdown.
7-0. St. Joe's on top on the 27-yard touchdown run by Corey Babineau.
Rob, we harp on it a lot, but special teams is huge, especially in high school football. You can have a great offense and a great defense, but sometimes special teams can kill you, and that's something that has plagued Stanford all year.
So Babineau and the Cadets send trips out to the left, one far side right. They're inside the Stanford 40 near the 36. Long snap count, looking left, swinging it left. It's complete near side, outside the numbers, 30. Dancing around the defender, 20, 10, 5, and pushed out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 14-yard line. But nice running down the near side for Colton Lillamo, and good blocking as well.
Yeah, really great job. Actually, Stanford had him wrapped up, was able to break a tackle, and then a couple poor angles by a couple of the defensive backs for Stanford. But Colton Lillamo, I mean, this guy is huge. 6'1", 200-pound wide receiver, can line up anywhere out of the backfield, the slot, outside, as the ex-receiver. You'll see him down here in the red zone quite a bit.
Ball on the near side hash. And a first down at the 14. Shotgun snap, little draw. Now they run it up the middle with Trez. Breaks it right. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Joe's. Christian Trez from 14 yards out. 13-0, St. Joseph.
Stanford just looks unfocused right now, and I'll be honest, walking around pregame, seeing a lot of the players on the field, they were loose, they were having fun, but it didn't seem they were getting as focused as I'm sure, Coach Green would like them to be. There was a lot of laughing, a lot of carrying on, but they didn't really seem focused on the game, and you can see that's carried over onto actual gameplay right now.
Number 20.
DeSereno on for the extra point, and he boots it up and through. 6:24 to go in the opening frame, and it's not going well so far for the Black Knights. They need to find the offense. St. Joseph 14, Stamford nothing. We'll take a timeout, come back to Boyle Stadium after this. You're watching high school football. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
We welcome you back to Boyle Stadium. We haven't checked in with them. Let's say hi to Cato. What's cooking down there?
Hey, guys, the one thing you talked about pregame, the breast cancer awareness. Turns out Stamford High actually this month raised $18,000 for breast cancer awareness. That information coming in care of Scott Erickson. And if you look over to Stanford sidelines in the stands, there's 1,500 feet of pink ribbon laid out. So, Stanford High doing their part for breast cancer awareness. Guys, back to you.
Cato, thank you very much. Here's Bonaparte back near the 6. Makes a turn, finds some running room. Better field position this time as he's thrown down near the 23-yard line. Jared Malozzi made the stop.
And if you're Coach Jamar Green, you have to be willing to trust your quarterback, Troy Duncan. Allow him to move around the pocket with his feet, get him on some design rollouts, give him run-pass options. You can't just expect to hand the ball off to Tyrell Diaz the entire game. He's going to get his yards. He's a big bruising back. But when you pack 8 or 9 guys into the box like St. Joe's is doing, you just don't have the offensive linemen and the wide receivers to block all these guys. They're going to get in the backfield. You have to trust Troy Duncan to get the ball to his wide receivers and his playmakers. 3
receivers come out near side right. One goes out to the left, one in the backfield. Shotgun set on first down. Little play fake, and now they're going to run it up the middle. I don't think that play ever got going. It goes to the 25 as it's held onto for a moment by Duncan, but I'll tell you what, I thought he was supposed to stuff it inside the gut of Tyrell Diaz.
It looked like he was really indecisive. They tried to run that little read option where the quarterback has a choice whether to give it to the running back as he reads the defensive end. He just looked unsure, decided to keep it, and gained a few yards, made something out of nothing.
2nd and 9 near the 25. Same setup. 5:45 to go in the opening frame. 14-0 St. Joe's. Here's Diaz barreling over guys to get near the 26. Hit hard. Cameron Ryan came in and made the stop, but it'll set up 3rd and long.
What I really like so far is the gang tackling from St. Joe's. You can't go up against Diaz one-on-one, hit him in the chest, and expect to bring him down. They're going low, going after his legs, stopping his forward momentum, and taking him down pretty easily.
Setting up, call it a 3rd and 7 at the 28. I'll make it the 27 now that I get a better look. And a whistle stops things here, and a timeout for Jamar Green and the Stamford Black Knights.
Coach Green walks onto the field. He looks he has a look of concern on his face. I will tell you that right now as he tries to get his offense in motion here. Right now this is a place where you don't want to be. You're down 2 scores really early on here in the first quarter. You're backed up, and now you have a 3rd and long. It really limits what you can do in the playbook. You can't really hand it off to Diaz unless you're doing some sort of draw. You're maybe looking for a screen. If I'm St. Joe's on defense, that's what I'm looking for. I'm playing man coverage, putting some pressure on the quarterback, Troy Duncan, and keeping everything in front. Don't allow for the big play.
Couple things we're looking at online. Ledyard off and running against NFA on the other side of the state. They have a 7-0 lead as they go 71 yards on their opening drive, and Justin Carter, a 1-yard touchdown run. That is across the state. 5:06 to go here, first quarter, 14-0. Shotgun snap, back to throw. Little shoulder fake. Now deep ball left side in the double coverage. Dangerous and caught. But they're going to rule it out of bounds at the 41. I know a rule's a rule, but what the heck? When you're able to make a catch in double coverage, give the kid the catch.
I mean, what a play by Jay DeVito. The wide receiver, the senior, 6'1", 170 pounds, in double coverage, almost makes a 360 spin there, catches the ball, unfortunately falls out of bounds, and now the punt team's going to have to come on. But what great effort by DeVito trying to make that catch, and a great throw by Troy Duncan. Only put it where his receiver could catch it in double coverage.
When I saw that ball go up, I said, there's no way. That ball's getting intercepted or it's just going to bounce off fingertips. Heck of a catch made, but out of bounds. And I'm only kidding. You can't change the rules. Here comes the punt. Shanked and short. Bouncing, but taking a good roll. And fortunately for the Black Knights, will come out near the 48-yard line. But a tough punt for Danny Maduri.
And that's a senior quarterback, one of the backup quarterbacks. I think if you're Coach Jamar Green, you might need to hold punter tryouts. We've seen 2, pretty poor kicks. You got to look at everybody on the roster and say who could give us the biggest edge. Is Danny Maduri it right now? We've seen Stanford struggle with special teams all year, and now especially, St. Joe's hasn't started on their own side of the field, since their opening drive. So, they've had great field position in these past couple possessions.
Wilton and Darien going to get underway pretty soon. Of course, this is an early start, and there are various reasons for that. First down at the Black Knight 48, and it bounced off the fingertips dangerously, and I'll tell you what. Now, as that went off the fingertips of Christian Trez, the Black Knights have to be opportunistic and take advantage of those opportunities.
Absolutely, and that's just a case of Christian Trez looking upfield before he actually caught the football. He thought, oh, man, I'm going to catch this wide receiver screen. I'm going to make a big play out of it. Unfortunately, you have to catch the football first.
So as I started to say, Wilton playing Darien tonight, and, of course, Mark Ivanchik only 2 sacks away from tying the state record, 3 from breaking it. You would imagine he may come close tonight. Handoff inside on a draw left side. Trez breaking a tackle and then holding on for dear life at the 31. He is brought down.
Really good run there by Trevs. They kind of roll out a little bit with the quarterback, Babineau and Trevs, and then come back with that kind of inside draw handoff to the left side, pull a couple of linemen around, and a really nice hole for Trez to run through.
Now a first down for the Cadets at the Black Knight 32. Near side hash from right to left they go. Shotgun snap, play action, back to throw, Babineau. He'll tuck it away. Now he'll throw it underneath. He finds Trez, takes it around the right side, 30-25, and down at the 19-yard line. May come back with a hold as we've got the laundry on the field. Correction. My spotter did not have it correct. I thought a spotter was telling me that it was a flag down. I heard incorrectly. That's on me.
And it looked like Hunter Lennon, number 74 for Stanford, was being held. He's the big defensive lineman, a senior, 6'3", 270 pounds, causing a little bit of disruption up the middle there. He definitely got held. Unfortunately for Stanford, no flag. And St. Joe is making it look easy right now.
Greenwich Girls Volleyball has been tweeting us a lot lately, so I appreciate that. I'll read what they tweeted us in a moment. Here's a handoff inside. Trez right up the middle. Trez running people over to the 4. Greenwich Cardinals take the second set over New Canaan, 25-19. So good job by the Greenwich Girls volleyball team. And they were nice enough to tweet us, so I'm happy to read it to them. But this one is coming back.
Yes, this one is. It's amazing, Rob. Did you ever think that, in all the years of you broadcasting, there would be a social media manager dedicated to every high school sport?
Look, I started long enough ago, I didn't know what social media was.
There was barely media back then when you started.
Barely. In fact, I was with Marconi when he was first getting radio underway. Penalty sends the Cadets all the way back to the 35. I've actually been to Marconi Beach up on Cape Cod, which, never mind it being a beach, for me that's like historic turf. Radio doofus that I am. First and long.
At least you admit it.
I willingly admit my geeky issues. Handoff once again, right side. Trez runs into a couple of tacklers, and the Black Knights able to converge. Delightful young players on that side of the ball.
Gotta love high school rosters, Rob.
That's my nice way of saying I glanced at the roster and they weren't there.
I'm sure they're lovely young men.
That line never stops being somewhat humorous, considering I've been using it for close to 20 years.
So true.
But it's the best way I can handle it in that spot.
You would think it would get stale, but it really doesn't.
No, because otherwise they get mad, and what good is that? Second and long, looking to throw. Babineau brings it near side. He finds a receiver. Breaks around one defender unbelievably and gets down near the 22. Still it'll sit up third and long, but some interesting tackling there by the Black Knights as Colton Lillimo gets a big gain.
Talked about being able to tackle and the fundamentals that Stamford truly lacks. And right there's another perfect example. They've run that play, that little screen out of the backfield 3 or 4 times, and they had huge gains. Stamford needs to be able to adjust and take better angles to cut that off and not let him get to the edge.
So now it sets up 3rd and 14 across the 25 near the 24-yard line. They'll call it the 23. Let's stay at the 24. Babineau to throw. Slings it over the middle. Comes up short of a first down. It's Trez on the crossing pattern down near the 16.
And now a decision for Coach Joe Delavecchia if they're going to go for it or if they're going to bring out the field goal unit. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
There's really no question in Delavecchia's mind.
Yep, I started to cut you off, didn't mean to, but they showed no sign of letting up.
Yeah, you always intentionally cut me off, so it doesn't matter.
Keep the commentary. 4th and 9 with 1:55 to go in the first quarter. Rolling right. Babineau, end zone, wide open, amazingly, touchdown. Colton Lillimo has been a busy man, and he just caught a touchdown pass to make it 20-0.
I said you would see him in the red zone, and right there, Lillimo does it again. This time mismatched up against Wesley Mighty, just the linebacker on a big, tall, wide receiver for St. Joe's. Runs a beautiful corner pattern to the back of the end zone, and a perfect throw by Babineau.
He was also wide open.
That also makes it very easy when you are that wide open.
It does. Extra point coming. And I believe it was DiSereno on the first extra point. It looked like 3 on his number, but in any event, he boots it right through here, and it is true. 1:45 to go in the first quarter. It is 21-0.
And now if you're Stanford, you're down 3 scores. If you're Coach Jamar Green, you have to have a pep talk with your team, especially the defense. The offense is going to try to do what they do best, which is run the football, keep the ball out of St. Joe's hands, and then try to go deep with the play-action pass. But if you're the Stanford defense, you're getting carved up left and right. I mean, every play is a chunk play, 10, 15, 20 yards. You have to stop the bleeding at some point.
Cato, how do they stop the bleeding?
Honestly, I don't know. It looks like for St. Joe's, they're running so many moving parts. Stanford High is just confused. But on a bookkeeping note for you, Rob, Mark Siricchio, number 23 on the field. It's Mark Siricchio, not number 3 on our rosters. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let us know who number 3 is then. And let us know any information you can find, Cato.
There is a number 3. I've got to find out who he is. I'm working on it.
Okay. We love high school sports.
Who doesn't?
67 was your number?
77.
77. That was close.
67, please.
Couldn't remember. You you played long enough ago at this point. Here's the kickoff.
Don't make me any more depressed than I am about that.
Down at the 13-yard line. Evie still loves you. Bringing it up near the 23-yard line. She won't care what number your beautiful daughter.
Yeah, she won't care.
No. She'll care eventually.
I'll have been long since retired by the time she finds out about that.
21-0 here on the 23-yard touchdown pass.
Rob, I said it before, we've seen big comebacks. We've also seen blowout victories, especially on, All Hallows Eve and Halloween. So anything can happen. It's still early on, but Stanford's got to get a drive going here.
This sometimes has been referred to as mischief night. Off the right side, here comes the big man. And he is carrying tacklers for 12 out near the 40-yard line. Love watching Tyrell Diaz run the ball.
I mean, low center of gravity. The legs are always churning. Another great thing is he holds onto the football with two hands. That's old school running right there. He doesn't just hold it out like a loaf of bread where someone could whack it out of his hands. He actually carries the ball with one arm and then places the other forearm on top of the football and runs with a head of steam every time.
Black Knights need an answer. Troy Duncan waiting in shotgun, has Diaz alongside of him on first down. Little stutter step, and then Diaz does it himself. He'll get 12 more across midfield for the first time. They're into Cadet territory at the 48. I mentioned the public address announcer earlier, and when the press box was on the other side of where we're standing right now, you can kind of see the outline of the old press box, and it was just the best place to call a football game from. Leon Javen was the public address announcer here, and I don't even know how many years. Let's put it this way. They had a plaque for him in the old press box. He was a very nice man and a very good PA announcer as the pass goes over the middle to Jay DeVito for another first down as the Black Knights start to move the ball. Certainly he's missed around here. He's been gone a little over a year, but doing the PA duties tonight, the great Hall of Famer in the FCIAC, one of the great baseball coaches, one of the great Stanford names, Bobby Augustine. I talked to Bobby for just a minute before the game tonight. Always thinking of Leon Javen. He and I were talking about him, and he's arguably Mr. Stanford. Bobby Valentine, of course, can make that claim as well. Pass over the middle, complete to Bonaparte, gets down near the 26. But Bobby's the one coach, when he was coaching baseball, I've told this story before, I will never forget a Stanford player coming all the way down the right field line specifically to give me changes to the Black Knights lineup in a baseball game I was calling for WGCH.
Tell you what, that just shows the type of man that Bobby Augustine is.
And got inducted into the FCIAC Hall of Fame earlier this year. Snap goes over the head, and all the way back to the 44-yard line goes Duncan. A big loss, almost 20 yards.
Great job by number 44, Brian Harner, the linebacker junior, to catch up with Troy Duncan and put him down, not allow him to kind of get out of the pocket after he caught the football. And, we've seen it, all too many times is 2 steps forward, 1 step back for Stanford.
1 quarter in the books, 44, a pretty good number to wear at St. Joe's. I believe that was the number of one Tyler Matakevich. After 1 quarter of play at Stanford High School's Boyle Stadium, it is St. Joseph 21, Stanford nothing. Second quarter will get underway right after this as we come back to Stanford for Friday Night Football. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Panby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Start of quarter number 2 at Boyle Stadium, named after the former football coach and athletic director here at Stanford High School. With Chris Kalin, Chris Irway, I'm Rob Adams. On a Friday night, as the St. Joe's Cadets lead the Stamford Black Knights 21-0, the website for Boyle Stadium claims that the Black Knights have won 20 state championships, many of those in the early part of the 20th century when there were polls and not definitive state championship games, not to take anything away from the Black Knights. And Coach Boyle had a lot to do with that. His teams went a remarkable, astounding 83-4. First down, pass complete, near side, coming out Bonaparte, and Bonaparte has it dropped at the 45.
83-4, huh?
That's what the website says. I will go by those numbers.
That's unbelievable.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
That really is phenomenal.
Third and a lot at the 42. They have got to get down near the 15, so you're talking 28 yards. Watch for the handoff. Not going to happen. Looking to throw, setting up the screen. Almost got shut down, breaking a tackle. Diaz right side, 35, 30. And much better field position as he knocked down near the 26-yard line. Still short of first down yardage. But I don't see any reason to not go for it on 4th and roughly 10.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a decision for Coach Jamar Green. I'm not sure they have a kicker that is really, this is within his range. What a great job, individual effort by Tyrell Diaz to break a couple of tackles there.
Have to love, I spied some of the placards being used on the other side by the Black Knights. I think I caught Captain Jack Sparrow in there and the Los Angeles, Oakland, San Antonio Raiders logo. Call it what you want. 4th and 10. Take a look at the sideline. Jamar Green and his staff will send some plays in. It's at the 25. They still have plenty of time. No play clock, but I'm keeping an eye on the official. There's the shotgun snap, set to go. Stepping up, time, deep ball right, jump ball, and it falls incomplete. Double coverage, but with 2 receivers down there. And turned over on downs.
It's an interesting play call because it's a very low percentage throw. It's kind of just a deep go, a fly route to the end zone. You see they've got safety help over the top playing a simple cover 2 shell. Those safeties are there to help out the cornerbacks. And, Troy Duncan had plenty of time. He had an option to run. He had a couple defenders to beat as they were spying him. But, that's just a very low percentage throw for Stanford.
And barring, if it's intercepted, you actually gain yardage because the ball would have gone to the 20. I'm sure Coach Della Vecchia would have implored his players to knock it down. But then again, you never know. Interception, maybe you get a return going. Hard to say.
Anything can happen on All Hallows Eve, Rob.
21-0 our score, 10:46 to go before intermission. I keep trying to remember the name of the character my son is being for Halloween. Handoff coming right side. Here comes Trez around the right side. It's Kevin Trez this time as he gets out near the 49, or rather the 39, excuse me.
Is it Doctor Who related?
It is Doctor Who related, yes.
But it's not the Doctor?
I'll look it up.
Okay.
He's been the Doctor before.
He has?
Yeah.
So he's continuing that kind of Doctor Who trend?
Yes, but to be specific, you can't just be... It's Captain Jack Harkness. That's who it is from Doctor Who. But you can't just be the Doctor. You have to be
a Doctor. Right.
A Doctor. Sean specifically was the Matt Smith Doctor. The 11th Doctor. Little shoulder fake off the left side. Turning it goes Babineau to the 42. Looked really good, actually. This was a couple of years ago. I wish I had a picture. I would pass it along to Eric Gendron to put on the screen. Had the tweed jacket, the bow tie, the fez. He really...
The whole thing.
He looked outstanding. He really did. Coming up on a 2nd and 6, let's call it. At the 43 in Cadet territory. They lead 21-0 with 9:50 to go in the first half. A man in motion. It's Christian Trez off the left side outside the numbers. First down and more down the left sideline, and he's out of bounds across the 45 into Black Knight territory at the 41.
It's amazing that Stanford has not made an adjustment to stop that little swing pass. I mean, that's. I think they're averaging about 20 yards per swing pass on that particular play, and Christian Trez is unstoppable right now.
First down at the 41 on the far hash, left hash mark. Black Knights will rush 4. Rolling right, Babineau has a ton of time, sets up near side, finds his man with a flag down across the 25 down near the 22. The Cadet fans out in front of us not happy, but another catch to Lilimo for a first down.
And it's going to be an illegal block in the back against St. Joseph, so that's going to bring them back, a big play brought back. So a little bit of a break for Stanford.
If Evie gets into athletics, will you be an effusive father, shall we say?
Effusive?
Yes.
I'd like to. I'd like to think that I would be
calm,
but competitive. I'm a competitive guy, you know that. Not going to be shouting "kill the umpire" or anything like that. But you never know. I can't really say until that happens.
I know. We have fans below us that are still just enjoying the moment, shall we say. Kevin Trez goes in motion, play action. It's still a first down play, setting up to Christian Trez on the screen, taking it all the way left side, 25, outside the numbers 20, and he's taken down at the 11-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle, however, by the Black Knights as Benjamin Joseph, the defensive end, was able to bring him down.
Now, Rob, I know you're not dressed up tonight, but will you be dressing up for Halloween?
I probably will. If I had something to do, I would, but my Halloween is not intending to be the most exciting night of my year.
Will you be giving out candy is the bigger question.
A receiver, 3 receivers right, 1 left to be continued. Babineau, got a man! Kevin Trez, touchdown.
It's all too easy for St. Joe's right now. Stanford can't tackle. They cannot cover the pass. It is really just a poor effort by the Stanford defense right now.
Pass complete for a touchdown to number 83.
I believe it was Trez on the touchdown, but we'll wait on the extra point. That's who I had anyway. Extra point coming. Snap is not great, and in fact, as a result, got kicked right into the back of some of the blockers up front. Tough time for Spencer Lucas, who was the holder on that kick. So that's the one muff so far for the Cadets with 8:52 to go in the first half. And our score, St. Joseph 27, Stamford nothing. We're back to Boyle Stadium right after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
Back at Boyle Stadium, high school football on the HAN Network is brought to you by Bankwell, by Coastal Orthopedics, and by the Darien Sports Shop. 27-0 Cato. It's too easy down there.
Absolutely, Robin. The one thing you can see on the St. Joe's sidelines is Joe Delavecchia is fired up on the execution of every single play, the blocking, the movement, everything going on. He's loving every minute of this. Guys, back to you.
Kickoff fumbled initially and struggling to get near the 20-yard line, so it's just all going wrong for the Black Knights so far.
So, Rob, as we switch, I mentioned, or I asked, are you going to be giving out candy this year?
I don't get a lot of kids coming up to the house anymore, to be honest with you. So
really?
The neighborhood has gotten a little old over the years, so there aren't a lot of kids around it. So I don't know. I may lay low. I may go out.
I feel like you're one of those guys that would sit on the front porch as a fake person and scare the kids off the porch.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Rob, there's also a baseball game on tomorrow night. I don't know if you're interested.
Really? Wasn't aware of that. First down, handoff Diaz, rumbling up the middle to the 26. Your Marlins are I'm only kidding. I can't get into it with you, Cato. We'll let it go. A gain of 5, second, and let's call it 6, 2nd and 4.
Of course, also a game tonight as the Mets try to come back against the Royals in Game 3 of the World Series. I think
we could be Royals.
Yeah, we could be. I think we're all hoping for them to win this game and make it a good series. Some of us.
2nd and 4 near the 26. High snap, bobble, back to throw, rolling right. Duncan trying to do something with it outside the numbers. Will get a first down there at the 32-yard line.
But we're also going to get a hold on number 74, Hunter Lennon, the offensive/defensive lineman, as he had no business blocking that defensive end for St. Joe's. Kind of blew by him. Wasn't sure on the exact number, but poor job by Lennon and kind of just gave up on the play and grabbed a jersey.
Seeing a note from our buddy Paul Silverfarb, Greenwich drives on their first possession, but they fumbled at the Ludlow 11-yard line.
That's very un-Marinelli-like.
A particular assistant coach on the Ludlow staff probably quite happy at this moment.
I'm sure.
He may or may not moonlight as the Yankee fisherman. Second and 20, or rather, second and 20 at the 10, shoulder fake, setting up. Duncan's got to do something with it, steps up, runs. He's going to be taken down right back at the line of scrimmage, might have gotten a yard.
You know, Duncan is really looking at only his outside receivers, and they're double covered on almost every play. You know, kind of going with that pump fake, and then trying to go deep on those go routes, those kind of fade routes, really not open. I mean, he's got to look over the middle. He's got to look down the seams. That's where his completions have been, kind of that fake to Tyrell Diaz on the read option, and then hitting those quick slants over the middle.
Senior captain, defensive lineman Mike Jones made the stop. Third and a lot, back near the 12, in Black Knight territory. Duncan to throw, sets it up, brings it over the middle, and the slant pass gets him out near the 17, but falling down, not exactly the intended play for Aaron Donalfo.
Really no choice here but to punt the football. You know, it's 4th and 14, you're backed up. If it was, 4th and 3, 4th and 4, I wouldn't doubt that Coach Green would go for it here, but you're really in a no-win situation.
Could you imagine how much fun we'd have tonight if we also had Ryan DiMaria here? I mean, it really would be the band back together. You, me, Cato, Ryan, here comes the punt.
It would be like old times.
It would be. Spinning down to a knee and jumping up. That'll be put back down at the Black Knight 43-yard line. Cato and Chris and myself, all, of course, coming from years of working together down in Greenwich. Ryan DiMaria worked with us as well, so kind of formed our little core four, doing our press box show for a long time, and we broadcast a whole bunch of games together in a couple of different sports.
Who would Ryan be of the core four?
Ryan would tell you he's Jeter.
He would.
Oh, he has the biggest man crush on Derek Jeter that's ever been known.
Very true.
I don't know who we would each be of the core four. Wow, that's a tough one. First down for the St. Joe's Cadets. A receiver goes out far side left. Corey Babineau hasn't had to do a whole lot, but he's done a heck of a good job so far. He's back to throw, and he's rolling right, and he's still rolling, and he's setting up, and he's firing just high. In fact, off the fingertips of the defender on the near side. That was Jay DeVito, the senior defensive back. 2nd and 10.
Really the first time we've seen nothing truly come open for St. Joseph's on a pass play.
2nd and 10. By the way, if you've been following us on social media, you may remember, as Darien has a 14-0 lead, you may remember that we once had the FCIAC Pigeon. Man in motion, Christian Trez, he's going to take it, turns it up the middle, off the edge, gets across the 40, down near the 37-yard line.
The FCIAC Pigeon.
The FCIAC Pigeon, who made his appearance during an FCIAC semifinal game at Harbor Yard between Trinity Catholic and Staples, and there he was. Just wouldn't get off the field.
Huh.
So people were taking pictures of him, and it became a little sensation for us. Well, today we had a new addition to the menagerie. Shotgun snap on 3rd down, setting up left side. Too easy. Christian Trez, first down more, 30, 25, 20, down at the 19-yard line. Black Knights falling all over the place, but it is indeed a first down for Trez. With 5.5 to go in the first half, 27-0, the Cadets on top. Today we met the FCIAC Mouse.
The FCIAC Mouse.
Was at one point right here behind us.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty close.
I did post it earlier today.
Things have become really easy for St. Joe's right there on that pass to Trevs. I mean, a complete busted coverage. Literally just, waltzed out into the flat in an easy throw.
First down near the 20. Working it up the middle. That's Trez again to get down near the 16. Of course, the core four didn't include Chuck Knobloch.
Very true.
And thus the joke. Thus Chuck Knobloch is walking on the sideline.
God, remember his stance?
Yes, I do.
Gotta love Chuck Knobloch's stance.
Chuck Knobloch was a pretty good follow on Twitter there for a while.
Yeah, he got in a little heat.
He did get in a little bit of heat, but he wasn't afraid to retweet you either, and he'd do a little back and forth. Not that I talked to him a whole lot.
What former athlete doesn't get into heat on Twitter? There's I would say 95% of them.
But
do.
I do respect the guys who run their own Twitter feed.
100%.
Receivers to each side, 3 out to the near side right on second down. Babineau wide open. It's Trez again, and it's a touchdown.
And number 30 for Stamford, Matthew Doyle just got juked out of his shoes on that throw. And for all the people watching, I mean, you saw it. I mean, he almost fell out of his cleats. A little head fake by Trez, and he was open by 10 yards. There was no one even around him. And this crowd is really pink out there, but really quiet.
Chris, they're really pink out there, but they're mighty blue.
Wow. You bested me again.
I went there.
You did.
Extra point coming.
Surprised you didn't incorporate a Beatles song or something.
Snap is good. Spot, kick, end over end. It is up, and it is good. 4:20 to go in the first half. St. Joe's all over Stamford now. St. Joe's leading 34-0. As we get a look at it, the shoulder fake so effective, and I mean, just too wide open, Chris.
I mean, I don't know how you bite on that. You know that they haven't really thrown any short passes beyond those swing passes. The head fake was really good by Trez. But other than that, I mean, what a throw by Babineau. Right on the money. Very easy when the guy's that wide open.
A quick break. We'll let it be, and then we'll come together back here to Stamford, 34-0. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Back at Stamford, a couple of day trippers, Rob Adams, Chris Irway, and Chris Kalen. Cato, what's going on down there?
Honestly, from everything I see, just St. Joe's is executing their game plan to perfection. And Stamford has just absolutely zero answers for it so far. And honestly, knowing Coach Jamar Green as I do, I would not want to be in that locker room. Guys, back to you.
Here is the kickoff. See if the Black Knights can get something going here off the right side. It'll get out near the 24-yard line. Black Knights just struggling to get anything going.
Rob, I hate to say it, especially with 4 minutes to go here in the first half, but we're just a couple scores away from one of the things that we hate talking about. And
can't do it.
Can't do it right now. It's still early, but Stanford's going to have to answer right here and get a long, sustained drive. It would be great if they could run this clock all the way down and put a touchdown on the board to end the first half.
4:13 to go in the first half. Bonaparte on a jet sweep near side, tries to take it outside the numbers. That's a lot of crosstown running to get only about a yard. I mean, that's some Jimi Hendrix crosstown traffic right there, my friend.
I don't know why I opened up this can of worms.
I didn't do that one on purpose, to be honest with you. It was
that's
all that running.
That's 6 song references in the span of
okay.
Past 5 minutes.
Well said. You got me. 2nd and 9 at the 26. 34-0 our score. Waiting in shotgun. Receivers to each side. Looking to throw Duncan. Duncan swings it right. Dangerous pass all the way up the ladder, grabbing it and getting to the 31-yard line. That's a lot of climbing right there for that receiver.
Spencer Lucas, great job on the tackle. The defensive back, the senior, 5'10", 183 pounds, slamming the receiver down.
to hear Bobby Augustine say it, it's George Nikolopoulos wearing 3 tonight versus his normal number 2 that we've seen in their white jerseys. So Nikolopoulos with the catch. And that would make sense. He is a heck of a receiver, one of their best. 3rd and a couple, straight up the middle. Here comes Diaz, and a big run and a first down to the 46. So Diaz able to answer. Robbie Miller made the stop. Clock ticks down to 2:49 on that scoreboard. At the south end zone, back of the south end zone, the main entrance to Boyle Stadium. It's been here quite a few years. At least 15, 16 years that scoreboard's been in operation. And no, the wireless microphones did not affect it tonight. Off the right side goes Diaz. Diaz to the outside and a first down as he gets thrown down near the 41-yard line and out of bounds. That's actually a reference to a laugh we had last year about, whether or not wireless equipment could have anything to do with the scoreboard. And fortunately, I don't think our equipment had anything to do with it.
No, I don't think so. But that was a pretty interesting sight to see.
Shelby Grant, a 1-yard touchdown run for Darien. They lead Wilton 21-0. That according to the Darien Athletic Foundation. And Ridgefield has opened up a 14-0 lead on Central. 7 minutes to go, first quarter, according to the Ridgefield Press Twitter feed. Bobble snap. Duncan's going to have to take it off the right edge. Just kind of bobbing and weaving his way inside the 40 to the 36. Very fortunate to get where he got. 2:18 to go in the first half. And the Cadets, or rather the Black Knights, have 2 timeouts. Ridgefield girls volleyball knocked off Stamford 3-0 to win the FCIAC West Division title, according to Jeff Livingston on Twitter. 2nd and 5, down near the 36. Duncan waiting in shotgun, has Diaz behind him. Receivers to each side, he takes it. Looked like he bobbled it again, trying to bounce it, he can't do it. Tried to run it right up the middle, but that was not going to go anywhere. And accepting congratulations is number 22, Jude Andrzejewski.
And not only was it a bobbled snap by Troy Duncan, but he actually placed the ball on the right side for Tyrell Diaz, but Diaz ran to the left side of Duncan. So not only was it a bobbled snap, but it was just a junked play from the start.
The Shelton Gales with a 17-0 lead on the Amity Spartans. 3:24 remaining in the first quarter in that one. 3rd and 12 in a 34-0 game first half. Swung left, it comes out to Diaz. And Diaz loses the ball. And it comes all the way over near side. Picked up by a truck. Taken down the near side. Cameron Ryan with the fumble return for a touchdown. And Diaz sprawled out off the fumble, but he gets up. The fumble return picked up right near the 40 and taken to the house.
And I thought that was Cameron Ryan with the strip as well. The strip and the recovery, taking it to the house as the Hogs continue to pour it on as we see Tyrell Diaz walk off very slowly.
Extra point coming with 1:20 to go in the first half. Disareno on for the extra point. They need an extra man to come out, and that extra man does come out. Now, Greenwich did that about 5 times last week. Extra point coming. High snap, put down, kicked up, and booted. Good. 1:20 remaining in the first half. It is 41-0. St. Joseph leading Stamford. Chris and I will take a timeout. Cato might take the same timeout. We'll all come back right after this. 41-0. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
That's right.
Are you easy to scare? HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone. Sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
Back with you at Boyle Stadium, 1:20 to go in the first half. That's all I've got, 41-0.
Yeah, it's a somber crowd here for Stamford as St. Joe's continues to dominate right there. You know, nothing more depressing than a strip sack and a fumble return for a touchdown when you're driving.
Here is the kickoff. I had it as a roughly 40-yard fumble return. I saw it listed as 55 online. I don't think it was that long of a return. I thought it was shorter as the return is brought back near the 19-yard line.
It was very close to 40 yards. And this is something that, you know, unfortunately we've seen from Stamford before where they get down big and then it's almost kind of a lack of, not a lack of immaturity, but there's a much less sense of caring, you know, from this Stamford team. And they kind of like lighten up a bit and kind of, you know, get down on themselves. And that's something that they really can't do. And Coach Jamar Green is going to have a conversation with them at halftime because this is not the way that he needs the Knights to come out and play in the second half.
New Canaan with a 21-0 lead. Friendly faces?
Friendly faces. Just saw the Stamford Black Knights cheerleading coach, Taylor Seichi, who's probably setting up the halftime shenanigans, if you will.
Taylor had a Greenwich connection, did she not?
She does. She and her sisters all went to Greenwich.
That's what I thought. She was a cheerleader at Greenwich High.
That's correct.
Timeout taken by the Black Knights. It comes with 1:13 to go in the first half. Cato at 41-0. What do you do?
Pick away. Honestly, I mean, it's all basic stuff like Chris said. It's, you know, fumbling, not taking care of the football, just, you know, and not making, and players not making the adjustments. They're just running the same play over and over again, and they're not seeing it. It's the only thing I can even attest to what's going on. St. Joe's isn't doing anything elaborate. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary. It's like Chris Irway said earlier. They're just running the same play over and over, and they're getting the results. Guys, back to you.
By the way, Cato,
yeah.
we had a request from up here in the booth. Dave Stewart's right next to you. Ask him what the definition of a pick'em game is.
Dave, Rob wants to know what the definition of a pick'em game is.
Not this.
Infinite wisdom from Dave Stewart. Guys, back to you.
Oh, thanks, guys. And I got a confirmation from Josh Fisher, who said he watched the fumble recovery, and indeed it was a 40-yard return. Thanks, JF. First down for the Black Knights. From right to left they go. Shotgun snap. Set up over the middle. Wide open. Got a man. That is Donato, who gets out near the 41-yard line, a gain of 21. And Donalfo, rather, the junior receiver, able to get to the 41. Now set up at the 41-yard line. Closer to the far side hash. From right to left go the Black Knights, who obviously need a score or this needs to stay at 41-0 as Duncan takes it. Breaks a tackle right sideline. 39-yard line and a big run for Duncan, the junior quarterback. Nice play there.
Robert doesn't have to stay at 41-0. They can still score another touchdown.
Well, yes,
but
splitting hairs.
We are splitting hairs, and it's getting to that point where Stamford really needs to gain some of the momentum back, and they've done it here with a couple of nice plays. First, the pass to Donalfo, and then a great job by Duncan to break away there, break out of a leg tackle, and get down the sideline, and more importantly, step out of bounds to stop the clock.
Luke Beanstalk, a 17-yard touchdown run. Greenwich leads Ludlow 7-0 late first quarter. Duncan rolls the pocket, left side, setting up, throwing, diving try, incomplete at the 34-yard line. I'll tell you others who run. I'm keeping an eye on Twitter for some other things. And you know who runs his own Twitter feed is from the Monkeys. Mickey Dolans does, for instance.
Yeah, Mickey Dolans.
He's retweeted me a couple of times, in fact.
So I'm talking about Halloween names earlier. Would Luke's be Luke Jack and the Beanstalk?
Very nice,
right?
27-0, Darien leading now on top of Wilton. Colin Minikis with a 45-yard touchdown catch from Timmy Graham. Ridgefield leading 21-0. It's not a good night for close games as this is grabbed by Jay DeVito, breaks a tackle down at the 24 and a half minute to go. So the Black Knights got to get a little jumpy and get up to the line of scrimmage. They've got a timeout to give. Now, clock stops due to the first down. But the Black Knights have 1 timeout remaining. Half-minute remaining here, and they will spike the ball to grab a timeout with 27 seconds remaining in the first half. Windsor leading Wethersfield, upstate 7-0.
North Haven a 14-0 lead over Hill House.
We also have Seymour leading Derby 15-6 from the Valley. And Newtown on top of Stratford 21-0. 2nd and 10. Duncan sets. Now he's going to tuck it. He's got to run. Near side. Steps around the man. Probably going to have to grab a timeout as he gets across the 20 and down near the 18. 17 seconds remaining, and there is the timeout.
And Duncan is carrying that ball around like a loaf of bread, basically opposite of how Tyrell Diaz carries the football. I don't know if you saw it, but he had it out past the line of scrimmage like he was still going to throw the football. If a St. Joseph's defender comes out and just swats at it, he's going to fumble the football. He needs to tuck that in near his chest and hold on to it for dear life.
Shelton leading Amity 17-0. And 1 in the books, our buddy Sean Saylor tells us. It's Greenwich leading Ludlow 7-0. If you don't follow Sean Saylor, you are doing yourself a disservice, by the way. He'd yell at me for saying that. Let me just add that.
He has some great tweets. I'll tell you what. That is something that, and he's on top of his game all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Seems like Taylor only wanted a picture of you, by the way. She came in here and just snapped a picture and walked out. I'm a little offended.
Brawn before beauty, that's what I always say.
Is that what it is? Okay. 41-0 here, 13 seconds to go in the first half.
I'm sure you're, there somewhere. It's probably going to go on
back.
Probably going to go on Instagram, I think.
Probably.
I'll have to check it at halftime.
I think you should. All right, we're set here with a 3rd and 5, although the down almost immaterial considering it's 13 seconds remaining in the first half of a 41-0 game. Black Knights will set up across the 20. Duncan with Diaz alongside of him. Duncan to throw out of shotgun, steps up, rolls to his right. We're down to 9 to 8 as he runs. Got to get out of bounds to the 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds at the 3. Will they stop the clock? Looks like they will with 2 seconds remaining in the first half.
And now you've got no timeouts, so you need to have a play call ready to go to give to your quarterback to have him set up and get the play off. You've got one more play. It's got to be a shot to the end zone. You're not going to kick a field goal here. You have nothing to lose. Just make sure that the throw is into the end zone and not short.
Keep an eye out, by the way, for Cato. Cato is known to grab a coach at halftime, so we will keep our eyes open for him. Black Knights do come back out onto the field. 2.1 remaining in the half. Now the Cadets look like they will spend a timeout, and they will. Little bit of gamesmanship here, and Joe Dellavecchia and his team are going to continue to coach. Up 41, you're still trying to keep guys off the scoreboard at this point, late first half.
100%. It is too early to kind of just give teams scores. What we've seen, most likely is for the starters to play through 3 quarters, and then if it's a game that is obviously out of reach, like this one appears to be so far, then after 3 quarters you see a lot of the starters, basically all of them, start to come out, and a lot of the second and third stringers get a lot of valuable playing time in that fourth quarter.
So far, by my count, there are at least 4 games that you might consider to be quote-unquote out of reach in the FCIAC tonight. As you get a look at the pink out. Final Friday night of October, Halloween tomorrow. Of course, please be safe if you are doing whatever it is you're doing. And remember, lots of young ghouls and goblins and zombies and Harry Potters and so on.
And doctors.
And doctors.
One of, how many doctors are there?
Yes. Actually, Time Lords, to be exact.
Time Lords, I'm sorry.
There are 12 of them, 13 if you count the War Doctor, who was kind of a brief doctor.
As you can see, I don't watch the show.
I don't watch a lot. I know enough thanks to my son. It's very good, actually. Duncan under center. They'll go out of the I. Now he steps back into shotgun. 2 protectors in the backfield, 2.1 to go. Snap, throw, end zone, bobbled, and the clock expires. They had a good play set up, intended for Donalfo. Little simple out pattern, Chris, to get into the right at the pylon, trying to do something as quick as they could. It fell incomplete, and that's the end of the first half.
And kind of the story of this first half for Stanford, a lot of mistakes, a lot of fundamental errors, unable to tackle, poor angles by the cornerbacks and safeties. And you can see that, for as much talent as Stanford has athletically, St. Joe's has just as much strategically in getting the job done. They have executed their game plan perfectly to exploit the weakness of Stanford, and they have done a fantastic job, a nearly perfect job.
The Black Knight fans are letting the Cadets hear it as they come off the field through those pink T-shirts that say, "Pink is the new black." Cato, are you down there?
Rob, I just missed my opportunity. Guys, back to you.
Okay, sorry about that. We missed the coach, so we'll stop here and take a timeout, and we'll come back to Boyle Stadium. But our halftime score, 41-0. St. Joseph absolutely taking it to the Stamford Black Knights. Chris, Cato, and I will come back to Stamford in just a bit. Once again, halftime, 41-0. The Black Knights trailing the Cadets of St. Joe's. You're watching high school football. It's the FCIAC on the HAN Network. We're at halftime at Boyle Stadium in Stamford. I'm Rob Adams. 41-0 our score. Enjoy the sights and sounds of the halftime show here at Boyle Stadium. The cheerleaders and the band getting ready to perform here. It's halftime. It's 41-0. Chris and I will rejoin you, but enjoy the sights and sounds for now.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Right. Are you easy to scare? HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone, sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Boyle Stadium. Halftime, our score, St. Joseph 41 and Stamford nothing. Cato joins us in the booth. Chris is here as well. I'm Rob Adams, and I don't know. I don't want to give Dave Stewart the hard time. He thought it'd be a pick'em game. Bill Bloxham thought it'd be a close game. I hoped it would be a closer game. I didn't see 41-0.
I didn't see 41-0 either. I really thought it would be closer. I really thought Stamford would be at least competitive in the first half. And, to put up no points with the amount of athletes they have, it is thoroughly disappointing. I thought they would come out really hyped for this game, a pink out the day before Halloween against a real quality opponent, and really just have not gotten it done in the first half.
Well, and Cato, I thought that, especially after the Black Knights had a bad loss last week to Wilton, I thought they'd come out and respond much better tonight.
So did I, but the one thing I was really surprised, they're not sharp, they're not crisp. The snaps, the handoffs, everything. It's just they're not controlling the football cleanly. You see it on some of the kickoffs. They're bobbling the kickoff.
They bobbled 3. I mean, Duncan has bobbled 2 snaps, missed another. The handoffs to Diaz are not quality. Plays are taking so long to develop, and that just gives St. Joe's so much time to get acquainted with the play. When you see St. Joseph run their offense, it is a snap, and the ball is out immediately. I mean, Babineau doesn't have to read anything. He knows exactly where the football is going because he's read the defense, and the defense isn't adjusting. He can throw it out in the flat to Kevin Trez all day long, and then when they finally cover him, he can go deep to Lilimo. And that's all they have to do all game long.
And you said it yourself. It's basically the same play over and over, just different options based on what Stamford High shows, and the players aren't picking up on it. They really aren't. They're not recognizing what's going on. And for them themselves, it's, you got your basic plays, but you still got to adjust to the football.
Right.
And they're not doing it.
And let me ask you this. I said it during the first half of the broadcast, and you being on the sideline have a better aspect than I do, but some of the things we've seen, when Stamford gets down during these broadcasts, is they kind of they get down in dumps, they get down on themselves, and it's kind of like not that they don't care, but they're giving up a little bit very early on. The game is probably over. It's probably out of reach, but do you see that on the sideline? I mean, is there just a kind of like this mentality where it's over, who cares?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's more easily frustrated.
Yeah.
And it's not working out the way they wanted, and they're not staying contained, and they're not keeping their emotions contained. They're just getting aggravated with the situation. It just looks like they're not saying, guys, let's get it together. Let's make it simple. Track the football. And they're not doing it.
They're not doing it. And at 41-0, the game is, like I said, most likely over. But you can make this a respectable game because, come the fourth quarter, you're not going to have any starters in there for St. Joseph's most likely. So if Stamford can get the ball in the third quarter and get on a roll, they've been able to move the ball. But once again, penalties, missed opportunities, the fundamentals of football. I've talked about it many times with the Stamford team. You can have an athlete at every position, offense and defense. If you cannot play fundamentals and play as a team, you're not going to be successful. And we haven't seen that here in the first half.
Absolutely, working together and getting back to what we said about the crispness, and the handling of the football. Let's go back to the first snap of the game to Diaz, the first handoff.
Yep.
High snap, quarterback can't get it into his gut like he wants, and it delays everything, and it gives St. Joe's a chance to get into the backfield and gang tackle. And that's how they've been able to contain Diaz. It's not one guy bringing him down. It's I'll hold him and wait for everybody else. And that's what they've been doing.
And the great thing about that is Diaz has still been able to get his yards. I mean, he's had some big runs, but that's when Stamford has had the perfect play call on. And they've had the right hole, and Diaz hits that hole. The first play, he had an opening. But because the timing is so off with the offense, I mean, it gives St. Joseph so much time to close that gap, and that's really what it's about is, this Stamford offense, just like St. Joe's, is a timing offense. When you run the spread, when you run 4 and 5 receivers, you need to have the timing perfect, and that's something that is escaped Stamford so far.
Absolutely, and there's one thing, actually Stamford High got away with a huge miscue that the refs didn't pick up on that last drive, when they spiked the ball to stop the clock.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Looked like he hit the center right off his foot.
Right off his foot.
And
I
you
saw
saw
that.
the way the ball bounced off. And Dellavecchia is standing right on the line, and he's screaming about it. Finally, he just gave up on it, I guess, after looking at the scoreboard and said, you know what, let it go.
Let it go. Yep.
And on that note, we'll let you go back to the sideline.
I don't know. It's kind of warm up here.
You're welcome to stay here if you want to. Your call.
Irway ate all the salsa, so I guess I'll go back down to the sideline.
Actually,
it's actually going to be unsafe in here.
I didn't eat any salsa. It was only sour cream. Rob ate all the salsa.
Oh,
Rob ate the
stop.
salsa.
You guys were eating all the salsa.
Here's what I could tell you.
Go ahead.
Whatever they're cooking in that concession stand, there was a gust of wind, and it blew the smell straight across the field.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a bulldozer. I think everybody in the field almost headed for the concession stand.
Wow.
The smell was so great.
All right. Halloween Eve. Out for a break we go. Cato back to the sideline. We're going to do the time warp. Take a timeout. We come back to Boyle Stadium right after this. 41-0. Stamford Trail, St. Joe's. We're back after this on the HAN.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
It's that time of kind of night here at Boyle Stadium. We need an exorcism.
Is that Tubular Bells, right?
It is.
That's the actual name
that
of
is
the
the
song.
real name of the song is Tubular Bells. It's more famous being known as the theme song of the great horror film The Exorcist, which really is a classic if you've never seen it.
It is. It truly is. I mean, it's
a
something
sick
that
movie.
It is. It's something that. But I love horror movies, and that is one of my favorites. What I think is great about The Exorcist, as you mentioned, kind of beating one here tonight with the score 41-0, are the scenes where those split-second scenes where you see kind of the devil appear.
Yes.
Those are, the most terrifying, especially watching it as a kid. Unbelievable. So, fantastic, classic horror movie.
I'll leave it at this. Pea soup. That's it.
Ugh.
That's all I got.
God.
Second half
that is
getting
awful.
ready to get underway. Yeah, it's a heck of a movie.
Man.
41-0. I tweeted before whether or not anyone had any suggestions, and to be honest, I asked a bunch of guys on the crew what you would suggest is kind of your horror Halloween go-to song. And to be honest, the first answer I got, I immediately said no. I want the non-Monster Mash division. Of course, we all recognize the Monster Mash, but that was the easy pickings. I didn't want the low-hanging fruit.
Well, there's a lot of different varieties of Monster Mash, though. There's not just the John Zachariah.
Bobby Boris Pickett.
I know Bobby Boris Pickett was the original.
That's the real one.
Right. But there's a bunch of them. I mean, the Misfits do a great cover of the Monster Mash. Kind of a punk rock version.
Well,
there are a lot, but there are a ton of Halloween songs.
I will tell you some of the suggestions
Go
I
ahead.
received.
Yeah.
A.J. Simonowski went with Thriller. I thought that was too easy.
Okay.
But I do respect that he liked the Vincent Price rap.
Sure.
And you do have to like that part.
Of course.
We'll get ready for the kickoff. I'll tell you a few other songs that were suggested to me by some of the gang. Too deep for the Black Knights. One specifically, Bonaparte, back at the 5. But it'll be taken on the near side. Stumbling again at the 15. Turning right. Turning it upfield near the 25 goes Charles Razor. Some of the other suggestions, Eric Gendron went with Purple People Eater. Thought that was a good call. AJ went with Thriller. I got a suggestion of Tubular Bells, as well as the theme from Halloween.
Yep.
And the gentleman to my left running a camera, exactly the reason I played the Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That was Marty Hersum's suggestion.
Very nice.
I have not played mine yet. I had a suggestion as well. And it's A.J. Simonowski's fault that it was in my brain, but it's still a pretty good song.
So we're still going to hear yours?
Yeah, maybe you will hear mine.
It's interesting. I'm going to have to think on mine.
40. Yeah, I never got a chance to ask you about it. I meant to.
You will, though. You'll.
I, of course, consulted with the Queen of Horror. First down, handoff right up the middle, goes to Diaz, and he'll get stuffed pretty quickly for not much. 2nd and 10 after no gain.
Gain of 1. 2nd and 9.
Second and, let's call it 2nd and 10. In a 41-0 game. Second half underway. 36 ticks gone by. Duncan waits in shotgun. It'll be play action, rolling right and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Waiting there was Cameron Ryan, who's already scored 6 tonight. He would have scored 6 more right there.
Really good job as Duncan, with that play action kind of rolling out, was looking for Diaz in the flat, and a great job by Ryan to knock that football down.
He'll set up 3rd down. 3rd and 10. 11-11 to go, 3rd quarter. Waiting in shotgun. Duncan set to throw it. Back he goes. Setting up, stepping up. Now he's going to have to run with it. He's going to be dragged down from behind at the 30-yard line. So the misery continues for the Black Knights as they'll go 3 and out. Mike Jones dragged him down. So a quick 3 and out for the Stamford Black Knights. Seymour on top of Derby, 22-6. New Canaan 31, Norwalk nothing. And Darien on top of Wilton, 41-0. Here's the punt, another shank, bouncing, taking a turn across midfield, a friendly roll. This will go to the 39-yard line.
You know, when I look at it, just thinking about this Halloween song aspect, there are 3 that come to mind.
Okay.
And I will give them to you.
Okay.
First, the theme from Jaws is kind of a it's not a Halloween song, but it really, to me, personifies, that kind of.
You just got what I was getting at
all
all day. It's outside of the box. Peter Swindell has set the state record, 4 field goals with a 29-yard field goal. Congratulations to Peter Swindell. That's his 19th in his career.
Fantastic job by Peter Swindell. I mean, and how about him as a receiver this year?
Been outstanding. Been one of the best in the FCIAC. From left to right go the Cadets in the road white. Kevin Trez to the outside. Kevin Trez to the Stamford 36-yard line.
One of the things that I've really noticed about St. Joe's and their receivers is they know how to sustain blocks on the outside. I mean, they have done a fantastic job just blowing away these defensive backs of Stamford, sustaining their blocks, holding on to them, and allowing Kevin Treves to find every single hole out on the edge.
Ball at the 36 now. We're in the 3rd quarter, 41-0. This will be Christian Trez on the inside handoff, bringing it right, 25-20, trying to break a tackle, and he gets down to the 9. They'll mark him at the 7.
I'll give you my second one before this next play, and it's a little bit more of a cop-out, but the original Friday the 13th theme.
Okay. All right.
Is just something that I've always liked. And I know it's a little bit more of, on the Halloween side, but I think that makes up for it with the Jaws.
It's all right.
But I will give you my last one after this play, and I think you're going to really enjoy it.
I probably will. You and I tend to think fairly similarly, and you've got a little bit of the retro in your brain, so you and I always have good music conversations. 1st and goal now for the Cadets. Here comes Christian Trez, leaning down. He's in. Touchdown.
And just like that, after this extra point, St. Joe's, unless they allow Stanford, or if Stanford scores a touchdown, is not going to be able to score any more points because of the 50-point rule here in the state of Connecticut, unless Coach Joe Delavecchia is okay with being suspended for a week, which I don't think he is.
Extra point coming. Now the Cadets lined up and ready to kick it. Snap is good. Spot, kick. Plenty of distance. End over end. Heading down toward the track at the very back of the end zone. Little pushing and shoving after things are over, but a pat on the helmet. Everyone needs a hug, and they will work it all out. 9:20 to go in the third quarter, and it is officially on. St. Joseph 48, Stamford nothing. Chris will let you know his third song in a matter of moments, but we take a break and come back to Boyle Stadium after this. 48-0. You're watching high school football on the HAN Network.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Back at Boyle Stadium with 9:20 to go in the third quarter. 48-0 kickoff coming. And the approach coming. Bonaparte waits down at his own 1. Here it is. It's a line drive. It's going to take a friendly bounce and go right to him at the 9. With a head of steam, he starts, turns right, almost ran up the back of a blocker, brings it near side as he turns around 30-35. Block in the back, but knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line. While they sort it all out, let's tell you, high school football on the HAN Network on this great Friday night, brought to you by Budget Blinds. Also brought to you by Football University and by our friends at Pamby Motors. No flag, no harm. 9:08 to go, excuse me, third quarter. What do you got?
I think you'll like this. From the year of my birth, 1986.
Okay.
This was released off the Constrictor album.
Oh, yes.
By Alice Cooper, entitled He's the Man Behind the Mask, which ended up being the theme song for Jason Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Wow. First down, handoff. Diaz breaks a tackle. Can't break the second one. He'll get about 4.
And it was the official theme song for that movie, and it also incorporated the famous into the song. There was a whole music video and everything for it, which was, and of course that movie kind of took Jason into the mainstream, putting him in Manhattan. So a little bit of a new wave aspect. That really, for me, is I think my favorite Halloween song of all time.
Well done.
Thank you.
Second, and let's call it a long 8 near the 48-yard line. You did well for yourself.
I appreciate it.
Shotgun snap. They'll go right back to Diaz. Diaz ran, bounced off one, trying to find the center of gravity, carrying a tackler to midfield. It's fun to watch. He's tackled by Cameron Ryan.
You think he wants to score? I mean, look at this kid run the football. I mean, he's basically doing it all on his own this game.
All right, Cato, you're up. You got a song?
Rob, I'm actually surprised you didn't even bring this one up.
Well, I haven't gotten around to mine, but go ahead.
Enter Sandman, Metallica.
Okay.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with
nice.
Enter Sandman.
I mean, there's the always old school Hell's Bells by AC/DC, but doesn't quite work.
Doesn't quite. 3rd and 5. And Cameron Ryan almost had another interception in his hands, intended for Jay DeVito at the 44-yard line.
And if Cameron Ryan picks off that football, I mean, that's another easy touchdown for St. Joe's.
48-0, 7:40 to go, third quarter at Boyle Stadium. A WPA project that opened in 1937. Nancy Adams would not like it if I said that was the year of her birth. Actually, she wouldn't care. That being my mom. Black Knights will go for it on 4th and 5. Back to throw. Duncan rolls. Duncan lobs. Duncan is intercepted at the 29-yard line. Moving to the near side, here comes Nick Osborne, and he'll be taken down at the 36. DeVito with the tackle. And the first turnover, believe it or not, of the game.
Yeah, the game has been relatively clean in terms of turnovers and penalties. The problem is the Stanford defense just has no answer for the St. Joseph offense as they continue to roll. And I'm just looking at the offensive huddle right now. For the most part, it looks like all the starters are still in the huddle for the Hogs.
7:26 to go, third quarter. 48-0. So I think I've given all the songs except for the one. I came up with a couple. I mean, there are so many you can think of, obviously, because they don't have to just be defined as a Halloween song. That was kind of my point, was do you have, something, and be original. Don't automatically go for the easy ones, but that's fine. Do what you want. Handoff comes up the middle, pushing for about 5 to the 41-yard line. That's Kevin Trez on the carry. And I thought of things like Spooky's an old classic. Obviously, the easy ones that I mentioned, Monster Mash and things like that. And then there's some deeper ones like Boris the Spider by The Who. Witchy Woman by the Eagles is another one I would have gone with. Yup, great call. Second and 5. Closer to 6. Across the 40 at the 41. They'll go back to the ground, will the Hogs, with Andrzejewski for only about a yard.
And you can see that both the Trevs, Kevin and Christian, are on the sideline right now. So two captains.
And you just start rotating different guys in.
Yeah, starting to rotate in. Yep, absolutely. Getting a lot more playing time for some of the guys that normally don't see the field.
I feel for our friend Scott Erickson, fine reporter, currently trying to get a word in edgewise as Dave Stewart talks to him. I love Dave.
Pick him, huh?
Dave, no doubt, expanding on the Tao of Pantouf the Cat. Here's a pass caught to the left side. And getting out near the 49-yard line goes to Jared Malozzi.
When you talked about the FCIAC mouse and the FCIAC, what was it, the bird?
FCIAC parrot, pigeon rather.
Pigeon. I thought for a second before they ended up being real that, they were more along the lines of Pantouf the Cat or the New Canaan Sledgehammer.
Yeah, New Canaan Sledgehammer's kind of gone quiet.
Well, didn't they say they were taking an indefinite leave of absence?
Or retired.
Retired, yeah.
But I'm not buying it. We have an injury timeout at the 49-yard line. So they will deal with the injured Black Knight. $48-0 our score. 5:48 to go, third quarter.
That injured player is number 9 for Stanford, and that's Benjamin Joseph, the tight end on offense and defensive end on defense. He's a junior, 6'2", 185 pounds, one of the starters on this defensive line of Stanford.
Teams will return to the field in a moment. I've got a top 25 Halloween songs from Billboard. I didn't even think of that. All right, this is Halloween from Marilyn Manson. Spirit in the Sky from Norman Greenbaum.
I don't ever think of that as a Halloween song,
Dead Man's Party, Oingo Boingo. Okay, I can go along with that one. Living Dead Girl, Rob Zombie. Black Magic Woman, Santana. Maybe
that's another one I was thinking of, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cato mentioned Hell's Bells. Running with the Devil by Van Halen.
Yep.
Zombie by the Cranberries. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence. Interesting call. Sympathy for the Devil, of course, by the Stones. These are the things you talk about in the 48-0 game. 5:45 to go, third quarter. Otherwise, I'd normally just be giving you the top 10. And the Cadets having to deal with the fact that they have the opportunity for more. Highway to Hell at number 15. A Nightmare on My Street by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Okie doke. Dragula by Rob Zombie. First down. They'll just run it into the line. Right back to the line of scrimmage. No gain there. The Devil went down to Georgia by the Charlie Daniels Band. Good call. Now
that's a good one right there.
That's outside the box.
Yep.
I like that. It's taking a little while for my page to load. Here's Time Warp from Rocky Horror, the Halloween theme from John Carpenter. Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, and more cowbell, by the way. 2nd and 10 at the 49.
I'm a huge fan of the next song.
Oh, I should play that one, actually.
That's a good one. Maybe we should keep that.
We might want to keep that one. Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell.
That's a good one. You know why? Because the beginning of that song really does start out kind of like a Halloween song.
It's great backstory on that song, of course. Shotgun snap, pitch comes right. Andrzejewski takes it near side and run down from behind by Benjamin Joseph, who left the game injured just a moment ago. 4:22 to go, third quarter. It's a 48-0 game and a third down coming up. Of course, the background singer on Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me was Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Why? Because he was connected to Barry Gordy of Motown Records. Rockwell had a relationship with Barry Gordy, and thus Michael Jackson comes in and sings the song. So that was number 7. I kept number 8. This is Halloween from Danny Elfman, Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay. Number 5, The Monster Eminem featuring Rihanna. You're a big M guy.
I love Eminem.
Number 4, Easy Pickens, Ghostbusters, or also known as I Want a New Drug. Sorry, you left that one left right over the plate for this Huey Lewis fan. Handoff, Andrzejewski will just run right back into the line. Get it to the line of scrimmage. There's, of course, Bobby Boris Pickett at number 3. Demons from Imagine Dragons at number 2. I didn't see that one coming. And number 1, of course, Thriller.
Great job.
Thank you. Fourth down, and the Cadets will line up and go for it. With 2:55 to go here in the third.
You surprised to see St. Joseph going for it here?
I'm not sure they're snapping it. I think they're just trying to run down time.
Maybe take a delay a game and then kick the foot and
you
then
see
punt
the
football.
official
Yeah.
just kind of winding them down.
Well, maybe a quick kick.
Yep, there's the 5-second indication, and indeed, Babineau does a heck of a job punting it away. It takes a bounce, but it will indeed go into the end zone for a touchback.
Into the end zone. Takes over on the 20-yard line.
2:20 to go, third quarter, and it's 48-0.
Now, if you're Stanford, you really have nothing to lose. You know St. Joe's is basically going to run the ball every time they have it. So why not throw the ball down the field? Try to get your offense moving. Make sure Tyrell Diaz gets his reps and go for it all. You really have nothing left to lose. Open up the entire playbook at this point.
I agree. Here are the Black Knights. They'll go from right to left. Shotgun snap. Diaz will take it. No, actually, Duncan holds onto it. Duncan gets about 5. Was it the number 8 song we were talking about?
The number 8 song.
All right, the number 8 song on our countdown has nothing to do with a little dog named Snuggles. As we get a timeout here on the field, and an injured Black Knight down on the field with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Maybe we'll let Warren Zevon take us to break. 48-0. Werewolves of Stamford continue right after this on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut, or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
The injured player, Stephon Harding, leaves. Mine was Donovan Season of the Witch, by the way.
Donovan Season of the Witch.
Because A.J. Simonowski made a Donovan reference to me earlier today, and it put Season of the Witch right in my mind.
You know what was on, I was actually watching last night, was Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Did you know that?
I would not know that. Horror is not my genre, admittedly.
Then I feel sorry for you.
I mean, old dogs can learn new tricks.
You should. You're still young enough, you can learn some new tricks.
Invite me over to the stately mansion. Duncan rolls right, and he's taken down from behind as we come back with 1:45 to go, as Spencer Lucas came off the near side and wrapped them up, and it'll bring up a third down play, 48-0 our score.
And Duncan getting up slowly after that sack. The thing is, I don't have to invite you. It's an open invitation. You already know that, so.
Okay, then I might invite myself again for Thanksgiving Eve this year so we can just get right down here on Thanksgiving morning.
That's perfectly fine with me.
I had a great time doing that last year. I actually stayed over at Chris's house last year before the Turkey Bowl.
You should. It's easy for you.
It was kind of a snowy, lousy night. We get a flag down here.
Looks like we're going to get 12 men on St. Joseph's, as one of them looked like number 52.
By my count, this is only flag number 5 on the night.
I think it was Joe Cuckey, the defensive lineman, is trying to hustle off the field. And they're going to mark it off 5.
Third penalty on the Cadets.
It's been a relatively clean football game.
Overall, yeah. And, you tend to wonder, have they swallowed the flag in a bunch of places just because it's 48-0? I don't know. And
that I'm not so sure of, because other games we've called that have not been ultra competitive, we've seen the flag fly all 4 quarters.
I can get you an answer. 49 to go in the quarter. Handoff Diaz, ran into a tackler, now brings it back left. He's going to have to stretch forward, and the big man able to get to the 35-yard line. Cato, you heard me say it. What do you think? Has it been well officiated? Have they let some things go?
Hear me.
Where'd you disappear to, Cato? All right, we'll get him back in a moment. 28 seconds to go, third quarter.
The silver lining for Stanford is that this kid, Tyrell Diaz, is only a junior. He's going to be a senior next year and most likely a captain.
As he runs it right side, breaks tackles, carries for a first down. He'll get about 13 on what might be the last play of the third quarter. But I did hear a flag, and I see it at the 44.
And it looks like it's getting marked off against Stamford. And it is.
And, of course, a few cries from the crowd. I can hear one voice all the way from the other side of the field.
Utter frustration on the Stamford sideline.
So that now the 6th penalty of the night. You were saying, Cato?
Yeah, it looks like kind of what St. Joe's is trying to do. Run the clock, eat the time. The officials are letting them do it. But Stamford High continues to just get themselves into trouble.
And the third quarter has come to an end. St. Joe's was able to add one more onto the board, and it's a 48-0 lead as we head to the final stanza. After 3, St. Joseph 48, Stamford nothing. Fourth quarter starts right after this. On All Hallows Eve, you're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Back at Boyle Stadium, high school football on the HAN Network is brought to you by Carl Chevrolet and by Walter Stewart's Market. As we get ready to start the fourth quarter, no need for you to keep an eye on that other event. Eric Hosmer, a Fielder's Choice grounder. Ben Zober scores 1-0. Kansas City leads the other New York team, Game 3 of the 2015 World Series.
Many people talk about how the Mets might have been a team of destiny this year. What about the Royals and their potential destiny here?
And a lot of times teams that have that destiny thing going as it swung left side goes out to Diaz. Diaz breaks one tackle, runs into another, then breaks a tackle left sideline, midfield, and he's gone with a man to beat. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He gets around the man who gave up on it. Touchdown, Stamford. It goes for 66.
What a job by Tyrell Diaz. I thought after that second or third hit, he was stopped, and then all of a sudden just broke out of the pack and turned on the Jets. For a kid 6'1", 240 pounds, he's got some burners on him, and he just rushed down the sideline and beat the last few defenders for St. Joe's. So a great job. What an individual effort by Tyrell Diaz tonight. The rest of the Stamford offense has not performed. He continues to outperform expectations here.
Now the point after try for the Black Knights to make it 7, and is put up and no good, as D'Onofrio tried for the point after. So an 11.5 to go in the fourth quarter. It's now 48-6. And just a great job by Diaz, but I will say, Chris, and I'm not inclined to say who or what, I saw a player stop running.
Absolutely. However, I think with the angle he was taking, I think Diaz still scores.
And let's face it, Diaz is a big man.
I'm not sure if he wanted to take him on, running 15 miles an hour.
But that's the score management issue in this day and age. You let him score, it's 48-6. Now the pressure comes off your team. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying I'm reporting the facts.
That's exactly what it is. It really isn't up for interpretation.
So 48-6 following the Diaz touchdown. I started to say about teams of destiny, when you're able to get to the 7th game of the World Series like the Royals did last year, sometimes you don't make it all the way back.
Yeah, that's very true.
In this case, the Royals made it their mission, and they made it all the way.
And now have a great 2-0 lead and leading in the third game. If you go up 3-0,
well, there is a standard where it's been done before.
Very
Kickoff
true.
coming. As soon as they're ready to kick it off, and now a timeout taken by St. Joe's. So that is their first timeout. Let's glance back over toward the scoreboard as Cato has joined us up here as well. Second half is starting. Greenwich leading Fairfield Ludlow 14-0. Jake Savides intercepts a pass for Wilton at Wilton's 40-yard line, and the Warriors take over. That's in the third quarter. However, that was a big lead for Darien in that game. Final, Ansonia over Oxford, 40-13. Bristol Central beat E.O. Smith 14-0. And now another go-around for the kickoff. And here it comes. It's an onside kick that'll be taken and then whacked at the 48-yard line. The unfortunate man who went and snagged that ball was Jordan Zarenda, because he got hit by a truck of Black Knights.
Great job by Zarenda to actually hold on to the football there.
So out come the Cadets. They lead 48-6 with 11:28 to go. New Canaan on top of Norwalk, 38-0. That's at the half. This was just not a night for close matchups. It's the nicest way I can put it. Xavier leading Daniel Han 13-0.
It looks like we're going to get a new quarterback for St. Joe's. This is Jared Malazzi, the sophomore, 5'9", 145 pounds. Coming in and going to run this Hog offense for what most likely the rest of the game.
With 11:07 to go and the clock running. That can be noted. Now a new man comes in from the near side from St. Joe's. That's Jack Morrissey, a junior, 5'10", 144. He'll line up as a receiver. And a man goes in motion. Fake it to him. Now they'll hand it off. Pushing right at the line of scrimmage for a yard or two. Ball came out. Stanford saying they've got it. The Stripes saying, yeah, not so much. 2nd and 10. So the Hogs will get right back up to the line. Pete Paguaga reporting that Michael Collins is 11 of 17 for 226 yards and 5 touchdown passes. He is up to 31 on the year.
Talk about efficiency.
My goodness. Cato, your mic is live, so feel free to chime in. 2nd and 9 after a gain of a yard. $9:58 to go and that clock running, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just letting that clock tick down.
I mean, they really can't do much else.
Now the 5-second indication. There's the snap, and the handoff will go right side. Around the edge, spinning around, goes Matt Labash. Sophomore running back, 5'6", 133, and I like it. A name like that, Matt Labash.
And, of course, a couple flags fly. And it's a dead ball, personal foul against Stanford. So that's going to move the ball at 15 yards, give the Hogs an automatic first down. And with the clock continuing to run at the start of the ref's whistle, you can see that St. Joseph is basically looking at the umpire, waiting for that countdown from 5 to know that they've basically spent almost the entire play clock and getting the ball off, which is truly unfortunate to have a game in the fourth quarter, even though it's out of reach. that this is what football has to become here in the fourth quarter of a football game.
It was 41-0 here at the half. It was 41-0 Wilton and Darien. Darien with a big lead. 9:23 to go. Clock ticking. And again, they just take a look. Keep an eye on the man with the watch. Still looking at it. I mean, folks, it's like, kind of like watching paint dry right now. Now the indication of 5. There's the snap. Going to pass it left side, and it's intercepted. It's taken back the other way, and this one looks like it's going to the house for the Black Knights. Matthew Doyle with a pick 6.
And that is the first time that Stamford has played that little swing pass out of the backfield perfectly. Matthew Doyle comes up, jams the receiver, steps right in front of the swing man, and an easy pick 6 for Stamford.
So the Black Knights have put 12 on the board. They're through 3, by the way. Darien 41, Wilton nothing. And this is what football has become with the 50-point rule. It's just a reality. Darien can keep scoring in that game, and they're not.
Exactly. It's just reality.
I know there are those who are pro the scoring measures, but there's certainly a dark side to it too. And I think all 3 of us can remember a game, I want to say it was Greenwich-Danbury, but you guys can correct me.
No, you're right. It was Greenwich-Danbury.
Was it Greenwich-Danbury?
Yep.
Where Greenwich, it was an off-tackle play that pretty much the JV squad ran in for almost a 50-yard run for a touchdown.
Here's the extra point first. That is up, and it is good. If my memory serves, Danbury took the next kickoff, and the sea parted.
Yep.
And Danbury scored a touchdown, which infuriated the Hatters at the time. It's the nature of the beast. 8:40 to go in the third quarter, and Stamford now trails St. Joe's 48-13. We'll take a timeout, come back to Boyle Stadium after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Welcome back to Boyle Stadium. As the band breaks into the theme, and that's the correct name of the song. The theme from New York, New York is not just New York, New York.
Right. Makes sense.
And nobody did it better than Sinatra.
Thank you, Liza Minnelli.
Liza did a respectable job.
That's why they play it when the Yankees lose games.
They don't do that anymore. They did do that for a while, though. That's a true story. Here's the kickoff. Again, onside, however, grabbing it and falling on it on the near side is number 42 for the Cadets, Adam Derbyshire, or Derbyshire, if you will. A linebacker, 5'9", 166. Wilton on the scoreboard, a 21-yard touchdown run by Brian Calabrese makes it 41-7, Darien.
Getting back to something Irway said about running the clock, there was one professional coach notorious for letting the clock run, and he did it in the first quarter. That was one Bill Parcells. Again, especially, I remember one game in particular they talked about against the Miami Dolphins. He pretty much grabbed Phil Simms before he ran out on the field, and he said, if you snap that ball before the 1 second mark, you're coming out.
Clock running down to 8:29 to go in the fourth quarter, 48-13. Jim Moriarty and everybody here at Stamford High School just remarkably nice to us, and we thank all of them.
And the one thing about Jim, when you ask him for help, don't mince words. Ask him what you want because he's got things to do. And that's the one thing about him. We always asked him for help. He gave us what we wanted.
Flags fly. It's a false start against the Cadets. That is their 4th penalty on the night. 35 yards. Clock continues to run with 7:49 to go. For the Cadets, they will improve to 5-1 on the year. The Black Knights are on their way to dropping to 3-4. This has been a frustrating year on a lot of levels for head coach Jamar Green and company. 7.5 to go. There's the 5-second indication with the handoff up the middle. And that was Andrzejewski. Now the band will break into Sweet Caroline.
One of your personal favorites.
I never had anything against the song. But
or Neil Diamond?
Let's see, now that we've handled Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, what's next, the Curly Shuffle?
The Curly Shuffle.
I don't know. Sounds like there's a new sing-along at Citi Field, and I'm going to ruin Piano Man for me.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
2nd and call it 14.
Come on, Billy has a connection with the Mets.
At the 39. He also has a connection with the Yankees.
He does. Doesn't mean he can't sing at Citi Field.
Ball on the near side hash, Hand off Andrzejewski. Billy Joel sang the national anthem tonight. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Will set up 3rd down.
Honestly, Chris, would it be a classic rant out of Mr. Rob Adams if they had picked a Beatles song to do a sing-along at Citi Field?
For sure.
Oh, that would be epic.
That would make the big red head explode.
I'm just smiling.
How many shades of red do you think Rob would achieve?
I mean, we've seen probably 10 or 12 in our day, and I think we'd probably see about 20.
I think that shade of red would be something reminiscent out of the Bible.
He'd look like a fireball.
3rd and 14. At the 39, closer to the 40. 5.5 to go. 48-13.
I think Rob would achieve like the anger character from the movie Inside Out.
Shotgun snap. Taken up the middle goes Malazi, and he'll be taken down for a loss. Back to grab him is Matthew Doyle, who had the pick 6 a short time ago, and the Black Knights will take a timeout with 5:18 to go.
Middletown leading Newington 23-7 in the 3rd quarter.
Killingly a final over Stonington, 35-0 out on the other side of the state. At that point, you're almost into Rhode Island.
It's amazing, just looking at this side of the state compared to, it's like 2 different worlds. Truly is.
Any thoughts from either of you guys? There was some sports news today that I thought was rather intriguing. By the way, top 2, Royals-Mets tied at 2. The fact that Grantland got shut down, the former ESPN website now.
Yeah, temporarily suspended, I guess.
Although it sounds like it was just ripped down and shut down. I don't think they're going to put it back up.
I love Grantland.
Well, the part of the problem is from everything that's being told is ESPN right now is hemorrhaging money.
Oh my! They've had massive layoffs.
And the crazy part is you're paying a guy like John Gruden over $4 million a year
for nothing.
Pretty much for one day a week. He does do a lot of work.
Right.
It's you really need to reevaluate how you pay your on-air personalities, because I think that's taking up a lot of the money. Plus, they're also the sets are so extravagant.
They're unreal.
Here we have 5:18 to go. Clock stopped. It's 48-13. St. Joe's leading Stamford, and the punt coming up here. Short punt by the Cadets. Macklin Roman does the honors, and then it takes a friendly roll all the way down to the 22. A fortuitous roll. And they will stop the clock with 5 minutes to go. Thought for a moment they weren't going to stop it, but I did hear the whistle blow. When will we see you again? Will you be with us next week?
Yeah, next week I think I will.
Like
Where are we
the
going to
sound
be
of that.
next week?
We
I
will
forget.
be. We will be at the legendary Dunning Field, New Canaan, Connecticut.
Yeah, that's right nearby the house. I think I'll swing up. to see you guys.
Trumbull, New Canaan, next Friday. The winner pretty much locks up the FCIAC championship game appearance. The following Saturday, a week after that, we go to Darien High School where the Blue Wave host the Staples Wreckers. And again, the winner of that pretty much locks up a trip to the FCIAC championship.
Amazing how that always kind of works out.
Isn't it kind of nice? Bouncing off each other, two members of the Black Knights, as they make some changes as well, and shifting over to the 16-yard line. I believe that was Cameron Freckleton, number 28.
It was, number 28, the sophomore.
And just talking about it, you watch the Stamford High running attack, and you have the big ideas, and you see how not having John Michael Bavona here with them to offset that, a kind of thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
It really has affected that running attack. John Michael Bavona transferring to Trinity Catholic, and he's made a big impact with them.
Absolutely. We've seen him a couple times, and really he has taken over that offense for Trinity. In the game where Lombardi went down that we were broadcasting, I mean, they just ran him wild. And, it would have been nice and really interesting to see the kind of that thunder and lightning combination here, but he's done great things at Trinity so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a great, with him, he's salvaged their season.
Yep.
Right back to the live action we go. Pass coming, and it's caught with a flag down into St. Joe's territory at the 38. Jay DeVito, the catch, coming off the pass from Aaron Donalfo.
And I think we may have pass interference on there. It looked like Donalfo had gotten the arm wrapped around behind Jay DeVito, and he made the catch in spite of it.
Few more scores for you. Wilton trailing Darien 48-7. Greenwich has improved to 28-0 on top of Fairfield Ludlow. I can hear the line being reeled into the water right about now of the Yankee fishermen.
Couple of pauses in between and reel them in.
A stop at the dock shop, and that's about it.
Go there year round.
And the lovely Kathy gets a free weekend.
Penalty decline to the left side goes Diaz. Diaz back in left sideline. Turns it down the left side. Can't stay in. They will put him out of bounds near the 5, mark him at the 9. First and goal for the Black Knights, who are trying to get this at least a little more respectable. Seymour on top of Derby, 36-6. And New Canaan all over Norwalk, 45-7, but Norwalk now on the scoreboard. I got to take a closer look at another note that I just saw come across. This well out of the area, but I'm intrigued by it.
Anybody who mentions your name, you're intrigued by it.
St. Paul and Walcott are playing tonight. Nobody mentioned my name. Walcott leading 56-52, and Ben Pryor has 7 touchdowns.
Solid night.
I'll take it.
It's a decent night.
First and goal at the 9. Here's Diaz. Stops, pops, moves to the right side. Turning. Going to try to run around men with flags down. He gets to the 6. A host of tacklers. Flag back at the 15. 2:22 to go. And it's against the Black Knights.
Yeah, it looked like there was a holding on the cutback. I can't tell exactly who it was on the hold.
Well, you know what? They actually made a motion like a helmet to helmet, so it's a personal foul, helmet to helmet against Stanford. It's going to back them up 15 yards.
I wonder who got called on that. It could have been on a block play. Because I don't think it can be Diaz, because I don't think his helmet gets down low enough for any of the other players on the field.
It's basically in their chest right away.
But that penalty turns it into first and goal at the 30.
At least you have 4 shots at it.
Yes, you do.
10 yards at a time.
48-13, 2:09 to go.
Irway always thinking positive.
Positive guy.
By the way, we ask you to keep a close eye on the credits tonight as we say goodnight. Pass coming. Right side, Jay DeVito almost adjusted to it and would have made one heck of a catch. 2nd and goal.
Jay DeVito breaks his route in toward the end zone. Unfortunately, he cut it a little short. If he had cut it at more of an angle, he would have had a good shot at catching that ball.
Pete Paguaga says New Canaan has now improved to 52-7 on top of Norwalk.
Well, thank God Norwalk scored.
Considering Lou Marinelli's very pro score control.
Very pro 50-point rules.
Interesting.
That would, if they didn't have any points, whew.
I think Lou sent the freshman squad on the field to let them score.
2 receivers out to each side on 2nd and goal at the St. Joe's 30. Setting up over the middle. It's incomplete, intended for DeVito at the 23. 1:46 to go. Clock does stop.
DeVito is a baseball player. He was always a shortstop. He always had great hands, so making catches like he makes here on the football field comes rather natural to him.
Derby trailing Seymour 36-14, 4th quarter.
Wow, that New Canaan score was an 80-yard touchdown pass from Cravado to Halsler. Unbelievable.
And those are backups.
Yeah, and there's 4 minutes. There's 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
That's the 2nd squad.
Those are the guys who are going to be the 1st squad before you know it.
I don't think that was the check down Coach Marinelli really wanted.
2 receivers to each side on 3rd and goal at the 30. Taking it, it'll be Diaz. Off the left side, turns it upfield, rumbling. He's bumbling, he's stumbling to the right at the 10, breaks the tackle. Do you believe it? To the 1.
Not enough forward momentum for the bus to get into the end zone.
Diaz on his back with 91 seconds to go.
And Diaz has been an absolute workhorse this game. He's gotten basically every Stanford carry, every running play, and now, feeling the effects from that tackle, trying to bull his way into the end zone. I mean, he had guys on his back from the 7-yard line.
It's a good possibility he may have just had the wind knocked out of him. The way he fell over to the side, he had. You got to figure he had at least 300 pounds on his chest.
I mean, he might just be exhausted.
Could be too. Yeah, he had the wind knocked out of him. You could see how he's.
Well, just look at the trainer.
Yeah.
They're smiling. So they tend to him for a moment.
Looks like he needs a play or two to catch his breath.
Now they get him up. Tyrell Diaz, he is a joy to watch.
I mean, that's a guy, he's bigger than some of their offensive linemen. If you just look at the size of him, you look at him wearing number 7 compared to, look at 65, 53. They're nothing in size comparison to Diaz. It's unbelievable.
And these are the guys that block for him.
That block for him, yep.
It's like sending out foot soldiers to clear a path for a tank.
.91 seconds to go and 1st and goal at the 1. As Donalfo will set up in shotgun. Donalfo does it himself, spins it in for the touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown run, and Stanford gets to 48-19.
Number 14, Donalfo.
So with 1:25 to go, it's 48-19. Ridgefield on top of Bridgeport Central, 28-0 at the half.
Looks like Stanford is waiting for an extra blocker.
And they'll get that man on now. And it is good. 1:25 to go in the 4th quarter. It's St. Joseph 48, Stanford 20. We'll come back. We've got 85 seconds remaining. We return to Boyle Stadium after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Darien Sports Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Back with you for the final 125 at Boyle Stadium in Stamford. With Chris Irway, Chris Kalen, I'm Rob Adams. Happy you joined us on this Friday night. We are at New Canaan High School next Friday as the New Canaan Rams host the Trumbull Eagles. Then a little deeper into November, it's the Darien Blue Wave and the Staples Wreckers. And then as of now, we think it'll be the Darien Blue Wave and the New Canaan Rams on Thanksgiving morning at Darien High School. But there's the FCIAC Championship to deal with, and we don't want to make any assumptions. Here's the kickoff. Takes a friendly bounce. However, grabbed by one of the good hands men of the St. Joe's Cadets. That's Jack Morrissey with 1:21 to go.
And with one timeout left, St. Joseph's is going to be able to run out this clock with a couple of knees in the victory formation, and a well-deserved victory as they were near perfect on offense and really stifling on defense, stopping this very athletic Stamford offense tonight.
A very busy week coming up. We will grab some rest over the weekend, and then we're back with you 2 games on Monday, the boys soccer semifinals at Fairfield Ludlow. On Tuesday, it's the field hockey semifinals in New Canaan. On Wednesday, it's the soccer championships, boys and girls, those both at Norwalk High School. Thursday, the field hockey championship. Friday, the football game that I just mentioned at New Canaan. Saturday, the volleyball championship at Fairfield Ludlow. All of those championship and playoff games, as a knee is taken, all of those games available on pay-per-view, or you can buy a various package. You can check it all out for yourself. Championships.han.network. There is the raised hat, and this one is in the books, with the St. Joseph Cadets grabbing a 48-20 win over the Stamford Black Knights.
Really solid effort by St. Joseph's tonight. You have to give credit to a couple different guys. First off, Corey Babineau, the quarterback. I mean, flawless game, both running the football and throwing the football. The other two captains, Kevin and Christian Treves, had big games. And then, of course, you have to look at number 83, Colton Lillamo, a couple touchdowns tonight. And then, of course, Cameron Ryan on defense, number 11, with the strip and the fumble recovery for a touchdown. St. Joe's got it done on all phases, offense, defense, and special teams, and that's what you need to win here in the FCIAC.
For the Black Knights, they threw 20 points up in the fourth quarter, but it was all just window dressing at that point, able to get it back to a respectable 48-20, but this was 48 unanswered to start the game by the Cadets. A really impressive performance by this football team that improves to 5-1 on the year, and the Black Knights have some things they need to figure out, Cato, as they drop to 3-4.
Absolutely, a lot of work to do. Honestly, at 3-4, any hope for a state bid is out.
Yeah,
especially in the class Double-L. For them, you got to focus on winning what you're playing, winning the games you got coming up. You got possibility for a city championship.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something you can focus your team on a goal and go with that.
We will come back for a quick wrap-up, and then we will say goodnight from Boyle Stadium in Stamford. Our final score, the St. Joseph Cadets 48, the Stamford Black Knights 20. We'll come back to the booth and say goodnight right after this. 48-20, St. Joseph gets the win. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Back here at Boyle Stadium, named after Michael A. Boyle with Chris Surway. I'm Rob Adams. Chris Callen off mic. I mean, just, impressive.
Really impressive for St. Joseph, the Hogs, the Cadets, whatever you want to call them. They were completely dominant tonight. And for Stamford, as Cato said, some questions to be answered. Coach Jamar Green, I'm sure will give them a talking to in the locker room to look forward to a potential city championship and set their eyes on a simple goal and work day in and day out, one day at a time. That's the way, Coach Green and his staff, take this team, and they really need to go back and work on the fundamentals of football, tackling, angles, timing. They've got a multitude of athletes. They need to find cohesion. That's something they don't have right now. For the Cadets, they have a terrific game next Saturday at home against the Staples Wreckers at 2 o'clock. I know our good friends from WWPT will have that broadcast for you. After that, they have the West Hill Vikings and then the Trumbull Eagles. 2 of those 3 games, those are good matchups to finish out the season. Don't assume the Cadets are just going to run into the playoffs. No, this is definitely a challenging schedule coming up. These last 3 games, but it's really going to get them battle tested for states. For Class M. So it's something that I expect them to win. Looking at them tonight, maybe 2 out of 3 of these games. Staples is really going to be a big test. That defense is unbelievable, and they've got some killer running backs there. So it'll be interesting to see how this St. Joseph defense reacts to that offense and vice versa. But I think Trinity Catholic and West Hill will both be solid games for St. Joseph's. Now for Stamford, they have Trinity Catholic and West Hill still to deal with. And that is something where, like Cato said, you're looking at, potentially a city championship. Tough games all around. Stamford is really kind of an enigma. Sometimes they come out and they look like a team that can compete for an FCIAC title, and then there's other games where, they don't have any business being on the field. So they're really a team you have to take week by week. Well, we certainly remind you to join us on Monday for the boys soccer semifinal doubleheader. We look forward to that and all the other games that I mentioned. A very busy week of playoffs and championships next week in boys soccer, girls soccer, field hockey, and volleyball. Our next football broadcast is next Friday night from Dunning Field in New Canaan as the New Canaan Rams host the Trumbull Eagles. With all that said, that'll do it on this Friday night from Boyle Stadium in Stamford. The final score: the St. Joe's Cadets 48 and the Stamford Black Knights 20. For the Cadets, they are 5-1 on the year. The Black Knights drop to 3-4. Again, we remind you, lots of championship games available via pay-per-view. You can find it all at championships.han.network. We look forward to you joining us next week, and football next Friday from New Canaan. For our entire staff here at Boyle Stadium, Charlie Weaver, Bill Bloxham, Josh Fisher, Kate Chaplinsky, Marty Hersom, AJ Simonowski, our director Eric Gendron, Chris Callen, and my partner Chris Irway, I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for watching and joining us on this Friday night. Once again, St. Joe's knocks off Stamford 48-20. Be safe tomorrow, have fun, and have a very happy Halloween from Stamford. Good night, everyone.